Hello, everybody. This is N, and I know it's funny that I keep introducing myself as N, but if you're a friend, you can call me Mo. That's short for no name, because I'm N. When I do work, when I do business, I go into what I call N mode, and N mode is something that normalized within me such that I could do that high level of work more regularly. And some of the work that I wanted to talk about is something that I haven't talked about at all. And that's when, years ago, I was into movies like big time. I wanted to be an actor. I still want to be an actor. A movie actor, though. I didn't want to settle on Broadway. I didn't want to settle on local theater plays or anything like that. I wanted to be a big time movie actor. And I'm doing laundry right now. That's why the different phone angles. Me leaning in to pick up some clothes, me throwing them into the dryer. So I wanted to be a big actor, and I realized then how much competition there is. So what I did, I started coming up with movie ideas. That is, entire movie ideas. Like movies like the ones you see in theaters. And I kept doing that for about a year or so, thinking that by doing this, eventually I'll get to be in a movie myself, because the movie ideas were getting transferred to the movie companies. And, well, they were doing their work. They did good in terms of numbers on their books. But in terms of paying the person who came up with those ideas, they did really bad. So that's why I recognize the surveillors as a network of people who take ideas, who take secrets, who take information from people, and who sell it for smaller amounts than would be if they were sold the legal way. Like the legal way, any of my ideas, I get 5 to 10% of them. That's the only legal thing. So right now I'm going to read a list of 4 movies. I'm going to talk about how they were my idea originally, how they would not exist without me. I was given the green light to more than a few movies, by the way. I also did some casting, and the way I chose the people for the movies was a combination of their talent and their personality. That is who they are outside of acting. If you want to know the simplest summary I can give you, do you want more of this person in the world or less of this person in the world? Anybody who was on the more side, I tended to put into movies. Anybody who was on the less side, I tended to, ignore. Like Cardi B, there could be less of her in the world. Even though she's on the up and up. She sings like Nicki Minaj, but she doesn't have the backbone of earnestness. She's a shallow money whore. But here's what I got. 4 movies. Number 1, Dunkirk. Now, sometimes things come to me. Like, they just come to me. It's like the Holy Spirit speaking. And one of those things was Dunkirk. I searched while watching an interview of Christopher Nolan. I searched, and I found Dunkirk. I realized he hadn't made a war movie yet, and it's kind of a Hollywood thing to make a war movie. You're a director, you make a war movie eventually. Nearly everybody who's a director has made some kind of war movie. Some angle on war. One of the most despicable atrocities man can start. So, anyway. Dunkirk. And at that time, I knew that I wasn't going to get my request fulfilled. My request was to be in the movie myself. And they did not fulfill that, as expected. So I requested that Harry Styles be one of the actors in the movie. At the time, he was dating Taylor Swift. And I thought, hey, maybe I could do something for this kid. He got put into the movie, he got paid, Christopher Nolan got paid, he got awards like I predicted. I prophesy sometimes, and I got zilch, zip, McDiddle. I got nothing from there. So I'm hoping to use that as leverage, though. The fact that I technically created the idea for Dunkirk as leverage against Christopher Nolan, and I'd use that leverage to have him write a movie with me in it, with me starring in it, ideally. I already have the movie idea. It's an ALS patient, something like ALS patient, who's all dead other than for his brain. There's consciousness in his mind. And this magical scientist comes into the play, into the movie, onto the scene, and he says, "Hey, wife of Nomad, why not enter into his consciousness where he's probably fully awake, fully limber, walking instead of completely paralyzed, and communicate with him through there. Maybe he can wake up parts of his body." That's the beginning of the movie. It gets into some very interesting things. It is a bit tragic when you find out that his time is up. Basically, he dies while she's there, but because it's in his mind, in his consciousness, there's a whole world in there, and it's one that he's constructed. It's a pretty cool movie idea, but that's the first movie that I wanted to talk about. The other movie that I single-handedly, I have to say, created is Ocean's 8. I noticed the Ocean's movies, they're really keen on to sequels. They like sequels, Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, Ocean's 13, but frankly it got inflated. It got negative. More is not better. In other words, when it comes to star power. Let the stars shine on their own, I say. On our own, I say. So, with Ocean's 8, I was thinking a smaller group plus all women. That was the requirement. You steal some diamond or something, but that was the pitch. And given that my previous pitches to movies have been sold, that sold pretty easily. And fast forward a few years, Ocean's 8 is in theaters now. How amazing is that? Hollywood magic. Do I get a shout out? Do I get credit? Do I get any record of payment? No, I want to be in Ocean's 9, the sequel to Ocean's 8. Okay, the next movie that I brought back to life. I'm a big time feminist, by the way. Ghostbusters. I couldn't see it doing well. I saw it doing mediocrely. If it was simply a sequel or a redoing. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm not making this up, but there is a spider's web, a thin strand of a spider's web, with a sparkling star, a tiny star, hanging right near the light. E-star. Oh, it's so awesome. God's awesome sometimes. Well, frequently. More frequently than not. But you have to know how to look. You have to know where to look. Second to that. Really quick, with Ghostbusters, I wanted to bring back a franchise while changing it, so I made them all-female Ghostbusters. They took my recommendations. Kristen Wiig had to be in there. Melissa McCarthy. I don't know if she made it in there, but I know Kristen Wiig made it in there. Cecily Strong. So, and Wonder Woman. Choosing Gal Gadot to be Wonder Woman was my idea. Plus making Wonder Woman different from all the other superhero franchises through a good director was my idea. 9.5 minutes. Whoa, I think that's enough for now.